right, the Birmingham Stallions defeated the Philadelphia Stars 33-30 to become the inaugural USFL champions.
Yeah, kind of figured that was going to happen.
Yeah, heck of a game because, well, first it looked like it was a one-sided affair because at the end of the first half, the Stallions were actually up 20-9.
Yeah.
It was kind of a really tough showing for the Stars at first.
One-sided in the first half.
Yeah,
but then
then the second half came around, and boy, did Philly come up big a few times during the game.
Yeah.
They'd close the gap, then they eventually snagged the lead. But then in the end, we had a couple quarterbacks go down at the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Both starters, the backups came in. Both quarterbacks, I think threw interceptions at one point. So one of them pretty bad there at the end with 20 seconds left to seal the victory for the Birmingham Stallions to let them, hold on there at the end. And, that's it. That's how the championship was determined. It was a pretty good game. When you get a 30-33 score, it was a tight affair. We almost thought it was going to go to overtime the way it was looking there for a minute.
Yep.
But the Stallions pulled it out. They've been the best team all season long.
Yep.
Boy, they got scared there for a bit, but they do what the champions do and the best teams do, and that's just you stay in the game even if you're down a little bit, and you hang on to win. And that's what they did, and they did that all but one time this season, losing only one game. So.
Well, they had some questionable play calling towards the end of the game. There was a spot where it was fourth down, and they decided to punt instead of going for it to run out the clock or something.
I guess the rationale there was kind of sound. If you weren't confident in your field goal kicker at that point to shank a kick there, you're getting the ball at what was it? It was like the 30 or 40 yard line. You would have given up the ball. But if you at least punt it, worst case scenario, it goes out of the back of the end zone. It goes to the 20. Best case scenario, you pin them down at the 1, 2, 3 yard line, and they have to go 90 plus yards to get a touchdown with 40, 30, whatever seconds were left.
Okay.
Ended up obviously bouncing into the back of the end zone, or bouncing into the end zone, get it out at the 20. So still, better than getting it at the 40. That's 20 more yards they got to travel. So
and Philadelphia was working their way down the field.
They started to. It was 2 plays. I think the first play, they had a nice pass up the middle, and then the last play of the game after, because they had to scramble, they had no timeouts left. Scrambled. The quarterback scrambled a bit, threw the ball, and it just bad pass, intercepted. He was trying to make something happen, and that's how the Stallions sealed the game, and that was the inaugural championship game. So overall, great experience. But we, as much as we were there for the game, we were there for the entire experience of what the USFL was doing. We started with, obviously, road tripping down to Canton. We took in the Hall of Fame, got some pictures around there, got to see the Hall of Fame busts of the new Lions guys that went in.
Yep, Calvin Johnson,
Alex Karras
the year before.
So we did a little bit of that, and then we got in line, the big long line for the championship game, which wrapped around the stadium, came down past the gates of the entranceway of the Hall of Fame, and so we were in line for a little bit. Finally got in, and
it moved along pretty good.
It did.
But yeah, when we were in the Hall of Fame, we didn't know exactly when the gates opened, so we went by the front door, and we could see the line was not moving. People were just standing there. So we thought, well, obviously they haven't opened the gates yet. So we stayed a little longer, hung out in the gift shop one more time, and just had a good time at the Hall of Fame. But it was a 4-hour drive for us to get to Canton from Kalamazoo, but it wasn't bad. It was a beautiful day, a beautiful evening for that game. And after we left the Hall of Fame, we got in line and got right in. And I was surprised, they had people there handing out free T-shirts the minute you walked in.
Yeah.
The one that you're wearing right now, the 2020 championship game.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool that they give you some free stuff.
I thought it was a nice looking stadium.
Sure.
Really up there. The concession stands were actually really nice. Obviously pricey because that's what concession stands do.
That's the way it is.
But I mean, overall, I thought the stadium was great. Now my big problem is with the USFL's presentation. Sure, they had some good stuff. Some stuff for the kids and
games to play,
whatever.
Places to take selfies.
They were good about throwing T-shirts into the stands all game long. But my big problem was, why were there only 2 mascots at the game? This should have been a celebration of the inaugural season of the USFL.
Right.
A lot of fans didn't get to see their mascots in person,
right?
And they wasted their time getting 8 mascots. So we only saw 2 mascots last night for the 2 teams.
As much as I don't care for the new redesign of the Michigan Panthers, I would have gotten my picture taken with the Michigan Panther mascot if he had been there.
Yeah, I think I would have too.
So that was a little disappointing. You pointed that out, and I thought, well, that's a good point. Nobody's gotten to see all the mascots except anybody that was down in Birmingham all
probably.
season
Yeah, if you
long.
went to all the different teams playing,
Right.
but you'd think you're taking the game on the road to Canton. Sure, it's only 4 teams who are going to play in the playoffs there, but this should have been a league celebration.
Yep.
And while it is a championship game, it should be treated as such. It would have been nice to maybe at halftime have all 8 mascots come out, do something, but.
They could have gone up
whatever.
in the stands and walked around. They
Yeah.
could have, just been on the sideline. What was it? Cletus from Fox Sports was there on the
Did
sideline.
you see it? I didn't see him. I saw people post pictures of it, but I didn't actually see it.
I did see the top of his head. He was right up along the front in front of us, and we were setting up pretty good. I think we were in section 223,
224, but
3 or 4. But yeah, we were right on like
good
the
seats, general
30-yard
admission.
line.
So
General admission seats. You could sit anywhere you wanted.
Yep. So that was great.
Got some pictures taken by the USFL sign and
Yep.
a few other things. So I mean, like I said, it was hot, but it wasn't too hot.
Oh no, I don't even say it was hot. I thought it was perfect weather all day long. So.
Yeah, and the side we were in was in the shade too.
Yeah, for most of the
across
game,
the
so-
field from us, they were in the sun for a while until the sun went down. But we were in the shade, and just a gorgeous evening. It was the 3rd of July, so some people in town were doing fireworks.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
everywhere you
backyards.
look, pretty much any
Yeah,
direction.
you could see some fireworks in the distance around town. It was just a gorgeous night, gorgeous atmosphere, a good game. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Just an awesome experience to be there for this.
And what was also cool was, there were a lot of people in their Stallion shirts, a lot of people in their Stars shirts. But what was also really neat was seeing a lot of fans just wearing other team jerseys. Like we saw a Kurt Warner Iowa Barnstormers jersey. We
from the
saw
Arena Football League.
so we saw a lot of different leagues represented actually, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of Cleveland Browns there because there was a lot of Cleveland Browns fans. We saw
Ohio-
some Lions fans.
Ohio State University.
Ohio State was a lot of Ohio State.
Sure.
Couple of
You're in
Michigan
Ohio.
shirts. One
Yeah.
lady ended up on the Jumbotron in a Michigan
Yes.
shirt who was having a good time until
Yeah.
everybody started booing at her.
She was hamming it up for the camera, happy to be here, and then all of a sudden, when everybody realized she was wearing Michigan shirt, they started booing.
Yep.
And what did she do?
Oh, she gave him a couple of birds. I'll tell you that.
She started flipping off everybody, and so they finally cut away from her. But
Yeah,
God, that
but
was funny.
It was funny. And then, some other leagues that were represented. We saw some Alliance of American Football in a Birmingham Iron jersey.
Right, yeah.
Shout
I
out to
saw
that dude.
Yep.
Apparently, you saw somebody walking around in a new XFL shirt
Yep.
with the new Dwayne The Rock logo.
Yep, black T-shirt with the white XFL logo that
Wow.
that they're so controversial.
See,
'cause
I
they're
missed
being sued
that.
over that. Yep, I saw, it was real quick. And by the
Yeah.
time I pointed him to you, he was already into the tunnel going to get something to eat.
We also saw a few Washington Valor shirts from the Arena Football League, now defunct. So that was cool. I
A
was
guy
like,
and his
really?
wife both had jerseys
Yeah,
on.
I thought that was neat seeing some Washington Valor shirts,
Yep.
and I wasn't too surprised, but a little surprised to see a Columbus Destroyers jersey,
I
which
didn't
you
see that
missed.
one. Yeah, I didn't see that.
You
one,
literally
but
walked
you said
right
you
by
saw-
him too. That's what was crazy.
I was probably going for the hot dog, so
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
And there was one guy in a Bernie Kosar jersey that we think could have been a Cleveland Gladiators
I
jersey,
think so,
which I've
'cause it was
seen.
black and red, and he
Yeah, it
was
was black and
associated
red. It
with
had
that
the same
team.
kind of shoulder style
Yep.
that those
I'm
jerseys
pretty
did.
sure it was.
So-
we saw him from the back, but not from the front. But
Yeah.
I'm going to say that was a
So
Cleveland
so a very
Gladiator.
diverse crowd there, all
Yeah.
representing a lot of different football leagues and teams. So that was pretty cool.
Yep.
And that was our experience there at the USFL Championship game.
Yeah.